Welcome to a full Halloween house tour, starting with a little update. So we took on a pretty big project at the end of the summer and into the fall to redo our backyard. So I had shared in one of the first videos on this channel that this was the original backyard. We needed to clean it up. There wasn't really much to it, just a lot of rock and a lot of forest. And we wanted to place a hot tub up on top of that top ledge, as well as a sauna. So that was the plan that we were going for. This was the sauna that we had ordered. We had a hot tub right next to the deck, and we figured we could have like some long, nice stairs. I had this dream of having a little creek, like a pond creek running through it. So construction had begun. They poured some slabs. They got the most beautiful stone steps. So this is a little update and like the progress and everything. This is the day that they were pouring the concrete slab. And I will say the construction was so minimal in terms of noise and so pleasant considering how loud of a project it could have been. So shout out to the crew that made this happen. And what's cool is the dream is going to continue into next year too, because there's still so much to do, but we've put a cap in it for right now. So these are the two platforms. One is for the hot tub and one is for the sauna. So let me give you a little tour and a little progress update of the backyard, and then I'm going to take you inside and share all of the Halloween goodness with you. So Carl is going to definitely be a part of this video. He's going to help with the tour if that's okay with you. So these are the stone steps that used to just be a little winding path made of mud, so much better. And the view now from the top of this hill has been all cleared out and so pretty. And also the poured slabs are heated, so perfect for the winter because the snow is coming soon. So we wanted to keep everything natural, nothing very modern or contemporary. We did sadly have to cut down a couple trees. I'm not a huge fan of that, but we're going to clear those out soon. We're bringing in a wood chipper, and we had to make room for obviously the sauna. So they did this really cool stamping effect on the concrete slab to make it look like stone and to make it look a little bit more rustic and less polished. So these are the views from the sauna as well as the hot tub now. And it's going to be so pretty in the fall and in the winter. I'm so excited. So in here, this is like the little exterior deck portion of the sauna. We're thinking about putting two little swing chairs. And then inside, there's enough room for two people. And even just, I want to say the heater's not in yet, but even just inside on a lovely fall day, it's so cozy. So there's two little steps to be able to sit. I feel like you could sit more than two people, but for the most part, it's going to be my husband and I. And then this is the view from inside the sauna. I'm obsessed with it. It's so perfect and so cozy and so secluded. I love it. I feel like just grabbing a good book and reading in there. And then this would be the view from the hot tub. So when we're sitting in it, we got a new cover for it as well. This is the concept that I had given. So the little stones, as well as the concept for the creek that I want to create. I have had a dream of having a little creek with a bridge over it since I'm a little kid. So this is where it's going to wind down. We're going to do that in the spring. So now the view out of our basement is so much more intentional. There's a little walkway. You can see the steps going up, and then it leads to the fire pit, which has all been leveled out as well. We also went through and added some lighting, so at night this is spectacular as well. So this is the new fire pit area. They built us a new fire pit. We always had these chairs, but now it just seems so much more intentional and beautiful. They also cleared out any loose branches and any extra pieces, and I feel like because the fall leaves have fallen, you can see so much more. This is Andre's little golf area. This is it being built. And it's just so quiet and so pleasant. So Andre has already tested out his little golf area. We do use biodegradable balls, by the way, so they just disintegrate. They're nature friendly, but he loves this little area. So now I feel like we've already used the fire pit more than we ever have, and we've been living here for almost 2 years. So it just made the space so much more intentional and usable and just inviting and friendly, which makes me so happy. And I feel like once we add the landscaping and a couple more stones, and of course the creek, it's going to be so perfect. Now moving to the front of the house, and then I'm going to take you through the front door inside. We had decorated this together. We went to the pumpkin patch, and you guys saw this. And update, the chipmunks are loving the corn stalk. So I shared it in a couple videos. They haven't found all of them, so I'm peeling them back for them. But what we do with the pumpkins is at the end of the season, we actually throw them into the forest for the deer to be able to have them. And what happens is through the winter, they find them under the snow and they come closer to the house and they have a little lunch, and it's so lovely. So I peeled back a couple extra corn pieces to help her out. I feel like it's one of the best front porch decorations I've ever done in Canada. So this is right in front of our house, the flying lessons, and then the fall wreath that I received in that big box that we unboxed together. I feel like we've been through a lot this month together. So let's go inside. I let Carl in through the back door, so he was waiting for me at the front. So this is our entrance. I put down a little checkered mat as well as a doormat that says pumpkin spice, very cute. And then this is our powder room right when you come in. So I changed out the bulbs to make it a little bit more Haunted Mansion-esque. I put a little lamp in there, usually that's in our kitchen, and then I got these pumpkin towels. And then there's these 2 shelves in the powder room, so I put him in there. I had DIY'd him a couple years back. He's a little dollar store DIY. Little skeleton with a towel on his head, having his bath and his red wine. So this front bench, I put some little pillows on there. Not much Halloween, just a little touch of fall. And then I have Carl's fall bed right at the entrance. He seems to like sleeping there lately. And then I have a couple little wooden pumpkins. It's a pretty big bed for a pretty little dude, but he loves it. So starting with just an overview, I'm going to take you from daytime to nighttime so you can really see all these lights twinkle and shine throughout the evening and as the sun is setting. And I mean, listen, the sun was showing off for today. So I love using all of the little pieces on the windowsills as well as on the coffee table. So I had this glass pumpkin. I got another one this year, and it's probably one of my favorite pieces, that black pumpkin. I love it. Our bar cart that we created that was completely themed after the circus. So I'm going to wait till all the sun goes down to show you all of the details, but just an overview. And it was highly requested to pull back and show you like what the whole room looks like. So we're definitely going to do that as well. The banister is so beautiful and so autumn and fall with the little twinkle lights and all of the pumpkins going up every single step. And I figured I could take you upstairs. I don't feel like we've really been upstairs very much this season. So this is one of my favorite views in the house. From the top of the staircase, you can actually see the lake, and it's just so beautiful and so stunning. And I'm not kidding. I wake up every single morning and I am taken aback by the view. So this is our little bar area. We do have a huge goal of transforming this into like a little bar library, but one project at a time. So I have this tiny little bar cart that I put some games on. Andre and I love playing board games. And then this little area where we can sit. And then this is our guest bedroom fully transformed for fall. There's just a couple little touches of little ghosts and plates and stuff that I actually use to hold either scrunchies or my makeup. Got this little hocus pocus mirror as well as all of my fall makeup. I love a theme. And the view from my getting ready area is so pretty as well. A little touch of Harry Potter. But yeah, this room is so cozy. I love it. So this is our guest bedroom, and I double it as a getting ready area. So other than that, there's not much upstairs, but I did want to take you up the staircase to show you everything, and then just from afar what the bar cart and what everything looks like. And all the little details. So I tried to section things by coloring. So you'll notice that when the lights go dimmer, there is sections that are all orange and twinkly and purple, like the bar cart. And then with the staircase, we really stuck to like autumn colors as well. And then in some other rooms, there's more greens and more blacks, and we did our best to have a theme. So the entire bar cart is very inspired by Nocturnal Circus, which was a show this year at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, and I was so inspired by it. I will show it to you in the dark because it's such a vibe and there's so many more components to it. But let's go into my witch's kitchen, which was very inspired by practical magic. So I wanted a little bit autumn, a little bit fall, a little bit witchy, dark magic, kind of like practical magic, just giving that cozy cottage core vibe. So we have incense going, we have taper candles, and just that warm glow is really the kind of idea that I had, as well as like a witch's apothecary. So I utilized all the shelves that I had, took everything off and covered them with small jars and books and spell books and all just little trinkets and finds that I had found over the years. I feel like the whole house really shines once the lights start to dim. So once that sun starts to go down and the candles can flicker and you can see everything, it's so pretty. The spider was a paid actor. So I had all of these vines and all of these plants, and usually I just use fake plants, but this year I had actually grown some of these vines, so I feel like it just added to the entire vibe that I was going for. Tons of little apothecary jars, lots of drippy candles, lots of fake candles as well, because I can't light a bunch of real candles in a wood cabin. A little nod to Jurassic Park if you spotted it. And yeah, just a lot of fake books, a lot of bottles, a lot of bottle DIYs that I had made myself from the dollar store, lots of plants. The spinning eyeball is also incredible. I love these little teacups. And then these are our mugs that we use every single day. And fun fact, I created them. I've got the black flame candle back there with an incense going. And then this little tiered tray has all of my teacups and a couple extra apothecary jars. And I love that they say poison and arsenic. I love them. We've got this broom here on the ledge. Candle warmer, and then my big pot on the stove. That pumpkin carving candle is so good. It's from Bath & Body Works. I have the little Sanderson sister sign back there, and the whole thing is on a fake Ouija board, like a marble Ouija board. So this is my little tiered tray that I did this year. I kept it very fall, very cottagey. I love that tea kettle. I got my mom a similar one. They're both vintage. I got them off of eBay. And then the little drippy candles. There's some real pumpkins and some fake pumpkins on here. I've got my butter dish as well as my sea salt in that little pumpkin dish, so it is usable. And then our mugs, and then these little whip toppers that I had gotten. This is our windowsill where I can see the chipmunks play, so I got 2 real pumpkins on there that I have to remember to put in the forest as well. And then this is the little witch area, the apothecary area, which I absolutely love. So let's turn on the light so you can actually see what we're looking at here, because there's so much on the shelves, so many details. I put this little coffin tray to hold the bowl that I use for my popcorn, and incense holder, and then these little edible glitters that I put on food whenever we're hosting. So I got these black drippy candles. I have all these little beakers and cylinders that it's supposed to look like a lab, like we're in the midst of making potions. So I was kind of going for a mixture of practical magic and then also incorporating what Dumbledore's office would look like was kind of the inspiration. So I did have a Harry Potter spell book that I opened and I put in the back. And then I had this witch's, I guess, magic ball. And it's actually a candle holder, but I put a dollar store vase on top of it and just filled it with some fake plants. And I love that little cyanide. It's actually a salt and pepper shaker. Probably one of my favorite areas in the house, but I mean, there's a couple other good ones that I'm going to show you. So I just feel like with the new kitchen, we had just renovated this kitchen. I feel like the vibe was so perfect for the theme. And let me show you the pantry really quickly, actually. So I added a couple little pieces, nothing crazy, just a couple rustic little pieces that went perfectly, including the little box that I got from the Countdown to Halloween, which I love. So this is a view of what our living room looks like as the sun is setting, and I love it with all the lights on the mantle and the flickering lights up the staircase. This is what I put on our coffee table, and I feel like it complements the staircase and then ties in the mantle perfectly. I love that big spider so much, and then with the flickering lights on the stone, it just looks so good. So this little guy is motion activated, and I think one of the snakes was blocking the motion sensor, but it turns on, and they're like little talking candles. And then I added the ladder with the vines, and then everything just kind of pulls through. So the concept of this, which I shared when I was decorating it, is supposed to be like a grave. So this is the top of the cemetery. There's all faux like black and green turf on the top with some drapes. And then the below area is the grave, and all the skeletons are down there and they're trying to climb out. So this was inspired by a haunted house that Andre and I went through, and I absolutely loved it. It was called Grave of Flesh, and you walk in and you're drawn to look up because there was raindrops falling from the top, and you actually notice that you're in the grave. Like you can see the rectangle cut out and you're below the ground. So that was the inspiration. So you can see all the skeletons climbing up the ropes, so many vines, so many cobwebs, lots of curly Q sticks. And I just love these big spiders that I actually got at the dollar store. And they sparkle and shine so much. They're so perfect. Lots of little lanterns and details with flickering candles. And then I got this little bat string light from Michael's this year also. All of the skeleton hands are all from the dollar store. Lots of thorns and eyeballs and branches. And it just adds to the entire organized chaos of it all. And it also ties in what's in the porch. I also switched out any light bulbs in our candelabra so that it tied in with everything. So I tried to keep the coloring somewhat consistent throughout the house. Now this is the bar cart. This is the Circus bar cart at night. It's so pretty, especially with my little drunken hot tub guy. So this is a really cool thing that I got earlier this season, and it almost gives the illusion that the bottle is floating. And I just thought it was so perfect for the bar cart. There was nowhere else where he could go because he just looks like he's in his little drunken hot tub. I got this window cling for the mirror because I had seen this viral mirror that was like hundreds of dollars, and I figured we could recreate it for a lot less. So everything on the bar cart was themed to be very nostalgic, very old school Halloween, like when we were young and we would go trick-or-treating. That was the vibe that I was going for, mixed with the circus. So I really kept it orange, black, and white. And I had labeled all of these old bottles, and I added Little Boo, who is like the theme of Halloween Horror Nights. So just as a little nod to that. And the whole thing is very circus, lots of stripes, lots of black and white, lots of orange. And I just added in some little fake candles and some little illuminating pumpkins to add to the overall glow of it all. And then any martini glasses that we weren't using, I put in some whipped toppers, which I thought was really cute. So there's lots of popcorn on there and lots of ice cream. It's very cute. Speaking of incredible, this is the finished porch. So I was going for a Morticia's garden. So we really did do a theme for every single room this year, which I absolutely love. And the goal with this was to have an overgrown solarium, much like in the Addams Family. So I made giant vines out of pool noodles and black garbage bags and hockey tape, and I hung them over the rafters, which I thought was really cool. I even have the chessboard, like in the Addams Family solarium, and then the vines and all the man-eating plants that one could ever have. I have this little book nook that I DIY'd. I just wanted to turn the lights on a little bit more so that you could see everything. So I have these black vines that I got at the dollar store that are like roses with eyeballs in them. And then I had the ivy that I got off of Amazon, and I just intertwined everything together. I hung stuff from the fans. I hung stuff from the beams that go across the ceiling. This is Bill. I don't know. I called him Bill because the basket said Bill on it. I got it at the pumpkin patch. I thought it was funny. And then I hung everything down from the chandeliers and intertwined them all into the man-eating plants. And then I had this garden sign that I thought was so perfect. These plants can kill. I love it. The poison garden. So that was the whole theme. I set up this tablescape for when we entertained. And I just had these 2 vases on either side with some old branches that I got at Michael's, and then these roses. So I added some fairy lights and some plants to this side basket. I just hung it on the hook that was on the wall. I'm telling you, between the sunset and the moon, incredible. And then this is the full solarium shelf off to the side whenever you're first walking in. So I packed this with vines and plants and all sorts of different Morticia inspired items. So I found this metal sign on Amazon this year, as well as obviously we needed thing. Lots of man-eating plants again, lots of twisty branches, some candles that flicker. I even have these sharp, they're real shears for gardening, and I figured they were perfect. Every shelf I put a layer of turf on it also that I spray painted black, so everything just looks overgrown and very natural. I added in some roses. I had DIY'd that little Audrey too myself, which I love. And then I have this skeleton, all these little potion bottles and little spiders and snakes kind of overgrowing everything. The dead fish tank, as well as the spinning eyeball. Lots of eyeballs. I think I have a fascination with carnivorous plants and eyeballs. I made him. So I set him on the ground in a big vase, and then he kind of grows up the side of it. So now you've pretty much seen every single room in our house from all different angles. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tour. We are not done yet. We're going to keep celebrating every single day, so make sure that you're subscribed. Definitely comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, dudes.